All right, ladies and gents, this is a true Titans matchup here in Titans League. This is going to be great. In the blue in the south, we have the leader of Group A right now, the player who 2-1'd Doubt and looked very good there. And then he ended up 3-0ing Barles, I believe it was. Or was it Valis? No, it was Valis, not Barles, excuse me. So yeah, he 3-0'd Valis. And I just said, I want to know, is the hype real over ACCM right now? I know he's been a beast. I know he's been playing well. But can he do the same up against an even bigger name? I mean, maybe that's too big of a step with that statement. Some people would say that Doubt's the bigger name than Vinchester. ACCM already showed that he can beat Doubt, though, so we'll see what he can do here. He's gone for the Aztecs. That was his very first pick in his draft. Game 1 Arabia. A map these guys have played thousands of times. And I'm a little surprised that Vinchester's done this, but he's actually gone for the Franks. And so he goes Franks when his opponent has gone Aztecs, and we've seen this matchup many times before. It is harder to play as the Franks. I can just say that much. And the reason I'm surprised is because he also had Mayans. And I feel like Mayan Aztecs is kind of like a 50-50 matchup. The Franks can beat the Aztecs with lots of cavalry, with their light cav for the monks and their knights for the eagles. But like I said, it's just a bit tricky. It feels like Vinchester got a little fortunate but with this little woodline generation, but this could actually end up hurting him. If there was an opening here, it'd be more accessible to get to these areas later on. And he's got 2 golds forward, the stone forward. All that's very much exposed on the long term. The berries, the stone, and the gold there on the back. So it's a good start here for Feudal Age. And then for ACCM, he's got a lot of elevation on the left side, and that's actually where all of his golds are. Could definitely town center this one in the back of his base. You know, might choose to build his buildings on top of the hill in front of his gold. I think both maps are rather exposed. ACCM's got to go back and get that boar there. But yeah, I think the preferable map for me would probably just be Vinchester's, at least for the start, just because you've got the safe resources. And then, you know, if you get a better start, you can handle everything else you might want to do. But yeah, ACCM looked electric. Like, he looked so fast and so confident. He looked like he was always in control of his army, always moving that army with a purpose. And we didn't always see that with Vinchester. Remember, Vinchester opened up Titans League. He was the winner of the first season, and then he lost to a promoted player 2-1 the first week. But, you know, at the end of the day, he then ended up getting a 3-0. And after a 3-0, he ended up with 4 wins. So I don't think there's any real danger or real worry that Vinchester will be relegated or anything like that. But remember, Vinchester only lost 2 games in the entirety of the first season group stage, and then ended up winning the finals. So that's pretty crazy. 13-2. And then obviously not a bad prize pool either. $40 per win before you even talk about the placement prizes for everything else later on. And all right, Vinchester adding the barracks. ACCM's Eagle's been around here. He didn't actually see the barracks. Now we'll see the barracks, so now knows his opponent's going for a drush. So good scouting there. And ACCM brings in boar number 2. Now knows that it's going to be militia. And one thing I will say about Vinchester is that he had some pretty ridiculous drush flush builds, or drush feudal builds, we'll just say. But he did it primarily with, like, the Mayans. I remember one game against Say My Name, I think it was, in the first season. And I was just amazed at how clean his build was. So it's just a bit uncommon with the Franks. What's ACCM's biggest results in AW2? I mean, I think they have all come within the past year, right? ACCM qualified for the, I think it was called the Grand Melee, the event in Hanover. And so he was at least top 8, because I think they only had 8 players there. He's won a bunch of events you probably never heard of. He plays like a lot of Age of Empires too. And even if the prize pool is like only, quote unquote, only like $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000, he plays and wins those events a lot. Also is pretty high up in Red Bull as well. Red Bull 6, maybe Red Bull 5. I mean, he wasn't at Red Bull 5, excuse me, but he would have been had they been able to sort out travel issues and whatnot. So he's a big game player, man. He's a big game player, and I feel like we've all watched, if you've been following over the years, ACCM just get better and better. And nice little quick walls here. He actually waited a while there, but that, again, just shows the confidence. And he's going to be adding militia. He's going to be looking to move forward. Behind this, though, Vinchester is on the way to feudal. Yeah, ACCM's always willing to play Age of Empires. He's like, if there's a tournament, he wants to play. I honestly, it doesn't even need to have much prize pool or prestige attached to it. And I think that's helped him. I think him playing like a lot of tournaments, it helps give you more experience in tournament situations. It can help you with any nerves, though I don't think you'd feel as many nerves if it's a smaller event. But yeah, we've got 3 militia. That's kind of going to be my approach, by the way. Like, I'm just signing up for everything this year. I have no hopes of actually getting better. I actually have lost only lost elo since I've announced Titans League Season 2. It's been kind of depressing. But I'm just going to play in everything and see what happens, you know? Get some experience. Have some fun at the very least. Learn some lessons. Have some things to talk about with you guys. ACCM looking for damage. He's going to see the berries. And Vinchester didn't scout that it was man-at-arm build here. And so he was trying to quick wall that. And ACCM using the eagle to block this off. He's going to make sure these villagers can't take the berries. And so Vinchester just preps some walls on the other side. And, oh, barely gets that one down. And now needs to fall into a range. So Archer defense then for Vinch. Archers then for ACCM. But I think ACCM's had the better start so far. I think that his eco is looking a bit better. And his position's certainly going to look better if he pokes down the spearman pokes down the scout with the spearman as well. You see that a lot, guys. Players just want that scout to be weak so they can add skirms later on. But, oh, he kills it. And then man-at-arms from Vinchester. He had sneakily sent 2 more militia forward as we were talking about this. I should actually mention that, you know, the horse collar upgrade being in for free obviously is huge here for the Franks. The forge bonus has already helped the Franks. And the wood upgrade was not something that ACCM was able to research and Vinchester did. So if they both kind of cancel out each other's infantry with their ranged builds, you could argue the economy is better for Vinchester here. But, like, I really do think Vinchester's base is going to be more of a curse than a blessing in the long run. He's really going to need access to these resources. And ACCM is going to have so much precious map control because he has higher archer count right now. He's going to have 4 archers. It's only going to be 2 for Vinch. Not to mention that this army can still live and breathe and fight another day. Whereas for Vinchester, I'm not so sure. It's more of a distraction than anything. In the mid game here, what you want as the Aztecs is you want tons of monks and infantry. But, you know, you could still obviously keep going for archers. And okay, you block with the eagle, you attack with the man-at-arms. That's the plan here. Vinchester's clicking like a madman. And he actually was weakening the eagle. Man, that was so good. ACCM runs away, realizing the situation there. Leaves these things go. We'll maybe try and get the archers in somewhere else. All things considered, it's been a really close competitive game. And again, both of these players should be in your top 8 in the world right now. They're the best 2 players in this group, per the standings. Though I think Dowd is tied with Vinchester with 4 wins. And still a lot to be seen here. We've got 11 farms. We've got 9 farms. Let's see if that Aztec play with the market comes into our conversation here. And we've got 11 army versus 5. That could easily be a big problem here for Vinch. Especially because he's thinking his opponent could sneak that other archer army. He's not actually expecting this full mass to be here. And big mistake for Vinchester. Oh, he's going to lose his mass. And again, there's intent from ACCM. And yes, I'm coming off like a fanboy because this guy's been playing incredible Age of Empires. There's constant intent. Has anyone ever gone undefeated? Vinchester was undefeated in every series, but he obviously did lose 2 games. I think he lost 1 game to Leary, and I forget who else he lost to in the first season. But yeah, I think Vinchester was undefeated. I think Harrow was undefeated, at least in the group stage. If you're talking the series, but no one's gone 15-0. We've only had 1 season of this. And, man, this is just painful right now for Vinch. He's lost 2 villagers now, and the army's going to get through. He was really delayed in the fletching upgrade. His opponent's got some armor coming in as well, and there's the market. So this is... ACCM knows how strong the Castle Age timing can be. with the Aztecs, and so he wants to buy and sell some resources there. Now, the winningest players in the first season had 13 out of 15 wins. I forget what MBL had. I think he had 12. I think Viper had 12 as well. Well, just amazing value from this guy. I mean, it's incredible. The man-at-arms are still a factor here. And there's patience behind this as well, so he can macro perfectly. We must say Vinchester also could have a pretty solid castle time behind this. And I'm impressed it's not getting worse for him. But that should be another villager down. The man-at-arm there doesn't get it, but the ranged army does. And so now you've killed 3 villagers in this game if you're ACCM, and your opponent's got skirmishers. It's the worst feeling in the world, by the way, if you're ever playing as against the Aztecs, is when they make enough ranged army where you have to commit that much to skirm and upgrades, and then they just go into eagles. Could be wrong, though. Maybe we won't see that. Also worth noting, I mean, ACCM is not fully walled. He sold his stone, so he can't boom. He's got a little ranged force over on this side. He immediately moves that back. Of course he does. And then he sees these skirmishers, and he's sending an eagle over there to deal with that. So he's not finished with the ranged armies just yet. Oh, yeah, Viper did lose a set. I forget who Viper lost a set to. But yeah, there's also not many players who are undefeated right now. If you think of all the big names that you would say would be, favorites, many people would say Hera. He's lost a game. Leary, he's lost a game. Vinchester's lost 2 games. Viper hasn't lost... Wait, did Viper lose a game? Viper played Sebastian, and who else? I forget, actually, if Viper lost a game. I feel like I was going to say that I think Viper's the only one who hasn't lost a game from the big names yet. You do have MBL, who has only played 1 round, though he's up 3-0. So. Sito. Oh, yeah, he did lose a game. He lost the game to Sito, yeah. So I think, I mean, after 2 rounds, or 3 rounds, we might have 0 players undefeated. Nikov hasn't played a round yet, so he is undefeated. All right, so we got some scouts here from Vinchester. Did ACCM see this? God, the level just feels so high here, doesn't it? And we have crossbow coming in, too. Dude, this is something that ACCM is being tricky with. I don't think Vinchester was expecting it. He was expecting the archers to be finished, and he was expecting it to be eagles and monks, which is why he just decided to add scouts. But crossbow bodkin's the last thing he was ever expecting, so he's forced to drop a tower here. And that's a really interesting tower. He kind of needs that, because if he didn't have it, he would lose access to all of his farms. He did house wall this. Dang. And these eagles here, they're still going to be the long term for ACCM. There probably will be monks too. There's the monastery. But again, watch this guy play with a purpose, man. He's always looking for kills. Constantly. Vinchester's got light cav upgrade on the way and +2 armor. No knights. Really doesn't have an answer to the crossbows right now. You would need knights for that. And he can't take wood. So much for this map being awesome. Look, ACCM's camping this wood line with a skirmisher. He also scouted the back. There is actually a little bit of wood there, funnily enough. But now it's Eagle Warrior. ACCM, he could grab relics right now. Like, that's a temptation because you get so much gold income. I think it's also worth it to have your first couple monks go forward in most cases. And ACCM's wondering what Vinch is up to, and he will see the light cab on the right. The best thing for Vinch to do would actually be to counterattack with the light cab right now. But if he does that, ACCM might dive and kill his woodline. So that's where it gets tricky. We'll probably see all new eagles wait at home now in case the counterattack comes in. And now ACCM's like, okay, so you've run forward with your army, then I must kill you. And that was a mistake from you, Vinchester. Dude, ACCM's an animal. 8 villager kills this game. He's going to kill the knights and the light cab as well. I do not think Vinchester has enough. Well, let's see. There's tower fire. I think even if it's cleared, right, it's like a 50-50 fight. It's still not a massive clear up where Vinchester can counterattack at all, and this might be over. Wow. Dude. ACCM, guys, he means business this season. This guy is probably my favorite to win Group A right now. Now, I'm going to say that, and then Vinchester's going to win 2 straight or something. But ACCM is the real freaking deal. Now, he also chose Aztecs, and Aztecs dominate, and he played Aztecs very well. I'm still not the biggest fan of picking Franks here. I think we've seen enough examples where Franks get countered by perfect play with the Aztecs. I think I would have preferred the Mayans. Now, does that mean that changes the result? No, but, it's worth pointing that out. But think what Vinchester did. He went for the early drush. ACCM saw it, okay? Then ACCM defended it with the perfect quick walls. He then went for man-at-arm play, in which Vinchester didn't know it was coming. Vinchester couldn't react in time. Vinchester had some idle time. Then, even though Vinchester had range units and everything in defense, ACCM always had more. ACCM went in with an army, saved the army, killed the army trailing on both sides. Like, it was just insane. And I think the main thing that Vinch never expected here, and against me it would have worked, is he never expected crossbow. Like, he was thinking it was just going to be all-in Eagle Spearman, which is why he went for the light cap play for any monks, too. But the crossbow play pretty much killed him because he didn't have any more skirms. And, of course, obviously, if he had siege, too, I mean, it's tough to afford siege without the wood. ACCM opens up the series with a statement, 13,000 resources brought in, 32 to 19 KD. And hopefully for Vinchester, he has a little bit more time to think in the next game. All right, so just said this, going to repeat it for people who watch this in video form. Vinchester had Japanese, he had Lithuanians. Those were civilizations I was expecting him to play on his home map cross. He's gone for a civilization that's probably still in that top 5 conversation, but it's a civilization that I think, unfortunately, falls probably around that 5th mark. I think Lithuanians, Byzantines, Japanese, those civilizations all feel a little bit stronger than the Huns, but Vinchester, he's always been one to go for different civ picks. Remember, he went Mongols on cross in the game against Running in his very first series. He's gone for some different picks many times over the years. Will ACCM be able to dominate here with the Byzantines? You got so many bonuses with the Byzantines. And on any map these days, too. Like, they're good on Arena, they're good on cross or hybrid maps. They're good on Arabia, too, I feel. But the relevant bonuses would be that you get more HP on all your buildings, which would apply to your docks. Your fire ships do work faster, so you win those 1v1 battles. And then you get lots of vision. And then you have very cheap counter units in the middle of the field. That's just all relevant bonuses. Do you guys remember that incredible game? I think Hidden Cup 4. I think it was Hera Viper. It was Byzantines versus Huns on cross. Do you remember that? It could have been a different event. It's been a bit now, but I still remember that game clear as day. I just forget the names that were involved. Well, sorry, I forget if it was like, Hidden Cup or some other event. But it was definitely on cross. I think it was my version of cross. So it must have been a Hidden Cup or something because it has these tiny little golds around. But it was just a crazy post-imp battle. Byzantines normally have the edge, though. I think where Huns can win is that if it gets messy and with the amount of flexibility that they have. But the key for Byzantines is just play safe. And look at the scouting from ACCM. He's scouting with a purpose here. I think if he's ever worried he's going to lose access to his pond, he can wall this way. If he's ever worried he needs to wall here, boom, wall this way. He sees every single wall off. And behind this, he will have some golds. For Vinchester, he hasn't really scouted as much that's applicable. And for some reason, he's going over here to dock. I guess it's not actually that far. But I was expecting him to go to the north. Now, that'll be interesting to see if ACCM spots that. But this pond is definitely closer. Just by, maybe an extra 10 or 15 tiles. But yeah, I would say Byzantines don't have to do a lot fancy here. If any civilization is going to be docking the other, it would probably be Byzantines docking the Huns. I think if ACCM finds the TC position, if he's able to find the TC position, I think he might actually scout the north first. And he's now going to come home and just push in some deer. So no really active scouting from him. Vinchester, maybe a little faster to push the deer. ACCM was always easy top 15, close to the top 10, but for the last 1 to 2 years. But right now, he looks like he's in the best shape of his life so far. Agreed with all those statements, yeah. Like, there were many instances where ACCM would be in the top 16, but he'd lose in the first round or something. Now, ACCM is an absolute threat in the first round of, like, normal round of 16, let's say, events. And I think he's got potential to go deeper than that now. Like, this version of ACCM is playing amazing. Like, he's more confident than ever, and he's playing more clean than I've ever seen him. Now, and some of that could be motivation, too. Like, I think something that's always tricky is, burnout. And when there's events all the time, like, players have expectations on them that they need to perform at a certain level. And sometimes you'd prefer to have a couple weeks off than playing a tip-top shape at the start of a league format. So on the topic of player form in the group stage, I should remind people that Viper looked incredible during the group stage. Hera looked incredible during the group stage the first season. Viper lost to Veleza 4-1, I think it was, in the semifinal. And then Vinchester had beat Hera 4-2. Then again, Vinchester was on fire. Oh, God, you absolutely take all these sheep if you can. Take them. Okay, you take one. ACCM's a nice guy. He didn't try and run away. But he sees the TC now. Now, this is important. I was applauding ACCM for all of his scouting, but it's Vinchester who has scouted his pond. ACCM, if I'm him, I absolutely scout the north first. And he's sending a villager, I think, assuming that his opponent has docked there. So I think his whole strategy will have the shift, guys. Vinchester going to that right pond is massive here. Because look, what do? Do you loop your villager all the way over here and waste all that time? Or do you just end up docking here and adding fishing ships? I think he might try and loop because he's gone to gold with the purpose of making fire ships there. That's wild to me. Vinchester also has 5 fishing ships here. And ACCM, I think, has just now decided, like, okay, I guess I'm just going to add fish here. And then he might shift into an early barracks. Or no, he sends another vill. This villager Vinchester could find. And I think that's Vinchester's thought process. I think his thought process is go for scouts on land. Or scouts or skirms, whatever. And then I need to make sure that I never lose access to this pond. In ACCM, he will see the archer range opening. He takes a hit. He takes 2 hits, actually, but that villager is on the way. We do not have a galley or anything from Vinchester. And then we have the barracks now from ACCM, realizing he needs some defense on land. But, starting off with a little bit of skirm spear production is not too bad for Vinchester. It is interesting he's not going for scouts, though. Maybe it's just a style thing. Now, he sent a spearman here, and he will see that ACCM actually has a dock there. And now ACCM had not scouted this. He just sent the vill. And now he will see the dock. The scout sees the skirms. ACCM will know he's spotted. I think we'll see Vinch try and dock there. Did Vinch notice this? He did. He did. Also, did Vinch research Town Watch? I believe Vinch researched Town Watch, which was a really interesting decision. And all the plays! There was a tree there, guys. I'm going to rewind and show you this because this is an epic play. I didn't catch it in the moment. So, that villager... Now, that villager's protected, right? No one can go in and attack. However, individual trees, you can chop, and once they're chopped one time, you can place a palisade over it. Watch this. So what Vinch wants to do is he's going to chop it, place a palisade over it to remove the tree, and then attack and kill this villager. Watch ACCM. This is disgusting. He's got a million different things to look at. Ready? Vinchester built the palisade and deleted it. And in the moment he deleted it to run in, ACCM said, nope, and made his own palisade wall. What a crazy play that was. Oh my goodness, villager survives. That could be important later on in this game too. And then over on this side now, we have ACCM making a dock. But Vinchester knows. Vinchester did add a fire galley. And he's also, I think, sending his scout to find that vill. So we'll see if ACCM can be on point again. All the while, they have to make army, and ACCM's like worried about, you know, his gold, so he's made a tower and some walls. But, you know, ACCM needs to protect this Vil if repairing becomes a factor here. And this is a great job from Vinchester. Obviously, great plays from ACCM. But Vinchester has an opportunity! And ACCM says, no! You will stay there! What is happening? People were hyping up this ACCM guy for a freaking reason, man. He traps him with the gate. What? There's an archer on the way. What's he going to do this time? Like, get on a hoverboard and fly away with this villager? ACCM's playing like an animal, playing like a man possessed. And okay, the villager may or may not escape. We'll see. Meanwhile, Vinchester could lose a villager to this scout. And that villager will end up dying. Vinchester will kill this villager. ACCM tried another little gate trick there. And over here, he killed 2 skirms, by the way. So Vinch is really distracted by all this. I would be too. Still, like, all things said, I think that Vinchester's still in a fine position here. The main thing is that his main pond where he has fish has been landed by the Byzantines. And that is just going to become a really big problem for him. He didn't actually make a lot of army. Like, he made the buildings, but he didn't make much at all. And there you go, scout down. It's 3-3 KD. These guys are playing amazing. I think ACCM's realized I've killed the skirms. He's not really making a lot of army. He's worried about me on water. So let's just try and sneak some archers right now. And Vinchester's scout will escape. But Vinchester's scout is needed. You can tell this is kind of like an outpost. Just leaving that spearman there. If I'm ACCM, sometimes I consider not even attacking there. But he does. And now this will be some valuable pressure in here on Vinchester's base as he needs to abandon the woodline and abandon the gold. And he's got to make more skirms now. Meanwhile, at home, things seem pretty safe here for ACCM. I like the walls. We do still need to pay close attention to the dock. But there will be no demo here, so I think it will be close. But Vinchester could still hold with repairing. It's just power of Byzantines, right? We do have a 5th on the way for Vinch, so numbers should matter. Meanwhile, there an archer's gone down. Here you're going to have a villager go down. ACCM, good Vil kills. And his fires are kind of stuck. That was intentional to pull the weak fire behind. But ACCM more focused on this than anything. And you can tell he's focused on the fires now. He was close to killing villagers. Nice saves from Vinchester. Great game here, guys. And by the way, Vinchester did lose his scout somewhere in the base of ACCM. So neither player has a scout right now. Wow, that's actually really smart what ACCM's doing. So you can somehow use fire over your own dock, but they can't use fire over your dock. So he was actually able to keep that ship a bit safer there. Vinchester having to leave the gold really delayed his uptime here. You can tell he has the food he wanted. Remember, Vinchester was never able to really contest the northern pond, but he is in the south, and he's been here for a bit. This is a great game. I'm freaking pumped right now. I hope people are excited with the level we're seeing right now. Game 1, for those that missed it, was just electric from ACCM. Highly suggested if you want to see how crazy this guy's playing right now. But it seems like the same theme, right? Lots of different things happening. Vinchester playing pretty well, but then you've got ACCM with the archer timing. The opponent maybe not expecting it, maybe thinking that it's going to be Byzantines with their cheap camels. But nope, and ACCM runs on by. Maybe too close to the TC there. And ACCM now with the villager is going to spot that dock is there. And that he absolutely needs to get his own dock down here. And Vinchester absolutely needs to stop it. But there's also the micro over here. So I think Vinch has a very good chance of denying this because ACCM has to micro the archers. Yeah, good job from Vinchester to keep an eye on that. He didn't lose that much on his gold. Obviously, he's had a bit more idle time than ACCM. But yeah, this villager... I mean, knowing ACCM, he's probably going to wall in Vinchester's villager or something, or just send a scout over. Yep. So this could actually lead to a kill. But it's going to be knights as the plan for Vinchester from what I'm seeing. Let's see if Vinchester can get a quick wall down. There's been some epic moments from ACCM this game. I think Vinchester just completely forgotten about this, but he still has the fish safe in the south, which is the most important thing. Also, his skirms are going to get some decent value before the crossbowman upgrade comes in here for ACCM. These guys are such beastly players, man. Oh, my word. Crossbow Bodkin, though, it's going to put an end to this, right? But not so sure about the knights. We'll see what those knights end up accomplishing here. Byzantines are tricky to counter, right? So the army is going to die on the front here for Vinchester. Knight's going to find those skirm kills. Oh, my goodness. And the villager gets down here. And look, Vinch is looking. Vinch is looking for a new vill. And now he's double-checking to see if there's anything over here, and he will see it. Now, the villager's not walled, and it's very weak. But if that goes up, that could lead to Vinchester losing his pond eventually. Dock will go up. That's an important moment in this game. As is this. TC on the very exposed forward gold for Vinchester. ACCM, again, moving forward with a purpose. We have no activity in this pond for Vinchester. He doesn't seem like he wants to contest the pond. I think he's very happy with the amount of fishing ships he's been able to get. He's gotten quite a few here. But, guys, he doesn't have +2 armor on his knights. He's got to be careful. Look at ACCM, though. He's pulling back the weak knight. Can't get it. But look at all the knights he's going to kill. Crossbow with Bodkin, such a big difference maker. Vinchester maybe wanting conversions or something. So he's out of the monastery, but still needs an answer to those crossbows. And he has to panic TC here because who wouldn't with the way ACCM's playing? If ACCM would have run in there, he could have maybe denied that. So camel crossbow. I mean, no cavalry archers here for the Huns yet. We also do not have the war galley upgrade for either player. So the ships are just still feudal age ships. We've got 3 town centers for one player, 2 town centers for the next. And ACCM just going to hold to this hill for the time being. The weakness here would be his reinforcements, which Vinchester could try and pick off if he gets more army. But Vinchester just doesn't really have the resources to make much more army and also add the economy. And this is crazy. Anyone know where I can watch the Draken vs. Dark TTL game? You can watch if you're on desktop, you can just scroll back. Otherwise, you can wait for extras. It'll be on the extras YouTube channel before you know it. Or you can watch the VOD later. But all the action is always going to be on the extras YouTube channel for Vamshirider. Okay, so, you know, Vinchester's held, right? Vinchester's held, and something he's really good at is the small counterattack movements. He didn't really get an opportunity to freely do that in the previous game. And unfortunately for him, he just missed that monk. That monk is going to be helpful with the relic, but obviously helpful for conversions too in defense for ACCM. And ACCM will add the 3rd town center now, but he kind of falls back a little bit, right? And he's going to do a little bit of chasing. The chasing obviously is going to be completely fine. Vinchester doesn't have to deal with what ACCM just had to deal with. ACCM got super badly housed. Like, I think all of his TCs stopped producing. Look at this. Oh, God, it's painful. I can't look at it. I can't look at it. Yeah, look at how far he dropped behind in population just because of getting housed. Or at least in eco population. Here he's still trying his best to be competitive. And it's actually working, too. Oh, man. And here the crossbowmen back up. There the knights run away towards the monks. A couple fishing ships get picked off. I mean, I think at this point, it's a lot about farms, too. And we'll see a siege workshop. So no stone income at all for Vinchester. He does have stone over here if he needs it. But my point is he doesn't really have protection if this starts to get out of hand with these numbers. But then again, it's only 7 crossbows. It's 12 camels. And we have cav archers now coming in for Vinch. I like the combination. I also love the monks too. And converting a couple camels or the TC fire are so great against the camels. All that's helpful, but I think that's why ACCM needs a siege. And he is on stone. Conscious decision to TC that stone. He had the 2nd TC on the stone. I'm not liking these little engagements for ACCM. I think he's trying to bait his opponent into the next siege shot or something, but it was a little worrying when the TC has Bodkin arrow. The cav archers are there too. Camels do bonus damage against cavalry, but they're still weak against all the arrow fire. Dang. Michael, no, we're going to do some Gold League action after this. I'm not sure how much longer this series goes, but that's my plan anyways. Feels like if there was ever a time to send those villagers forward, this would be it, right? Suddenly, the Scorpions don't look very strong. Cav Archers still are not really in high enough of a mass. ACCM boldly using the siege. Takes out another Scorpion. Villagers might be on the move right now. I can't really tell. Mangonel needs to be pulled back so it can be repaired. This level of play is insane. As the crossbows go for the monks, and a couple of the monks will go down. A lot of the monks went down, actually. And now the camels are here, and ACCM's got a monk on every single night, dude. This guy's insane. Saves his Mangonel here. Gets a conversion there. Is still waiting to see if that castle's going to be coming. Is he going to commit to this battle? I feel like you could just commit now, and then you could place the castle even further forward. Yeah, there you go. He is underneath the TC, but he's got the Mangonels behind this. Can he do it? No. I don't think he can. The TC fire is too good. The town center has 10 kills, guys. It was really the town center that's made the difference here. And maybe no final armor. Now, he hasn't deleted the foundation. There's still a possibility if he doesn't get too close to this TC. And these camels are just barely holding. The Mangonel's getting some good hits, but I think it's panic time for ACCM, and Vinchester is officially held. Doubt is in this group, but Doubt is also in this game. It's a Doubt castle. Crazy hold from Vinchester. Wow. Man, it seemed like ACCM had the position that he wanted. By the way, villagers just casually building the castle. It seemed like he had the position that he wanted, but he just didn't have the tankiness to his units. And it was the low number of crossbowmen. It was the lack of armor on the camels. Maybe needed a couple extra monks. But, man, these Cav Archers are cheap with the Huns. And that's not the best. I'm sure you guys realize this, but if this castle actually ends up going up, like, this is absolutely devastating here for Vinchester. Like, it's worth it to lose 10 to 15 vills to complete this castle. If you're ACCM. And, oh! It's castle time! Castle's already at 40%, so you don't want to delete it. But then again, he's got enough stone for another castle, so... Oh, man. Maybe you do delete this one. Vinchester's definitely going to get his up. And, okay, he deletes it. Still a very interesting game, right? Like, that's a lot of villagers pulled off of resources. This castle could still go up for ACCM, and he still has the cheaper Imperial Age. He now distracts some of these cavalry archers and runs to the back. This castle will likely go up for ACCM. Eco KD is somehow 11 to 11. The KD is 92 to 74. It's so close. And, you know, that's the thing about Byzantines, guys, is they always have something else that they can throw at you. And the cheaper Imperial Age is that next thing that you have to worry about if you're Vinchester. Only 8 Cav Archers for Vinch, right? So he's lost a decent amount of those. ACCM still moving around. I'd love to see ballistics for Vinch. I think that's so important. And he's maybe thinking about a forward castle here. What does he see? He sees the TC there. He probably knows that ACCM could be up. Castle here would be the next option, actually. He's going to castle over here. This would get really fun, though. If he drops it... I guess he has no army support. Oh, and ACCM can see him, too. Oh, it's so awkward, isn't it? Byzantines can... Oh, they always know what you're up to, man. Maybe it was a bait, so we could drop the castle there. But, I mean, time's a wasting here. No imp yet for ACCM, though, obviously. 131 population versus 137 population. Now, this is more of a castle you place if you're going Trebor. But I think he feels like he has to place it because there's just so many freaking camels out there. Like, there's too many camels. Enough camels where the castle could actually be denied. What a rebound from ACCM here. So many people would have just lost the game if that castle doesn't go up earlier. Not ACCM, man. Not Byzantines. Cheap camels. You can make just plenty more. It's your turn not to have a castle here, Vinchester. And the thing is, the camels now with full armor, man, they're going to be harder to kill by these Cav Archers. ACCM's even adding a ram out of this siege workshop, which is an interesting addition. And ACCM cancels a little bit of production, buys some food, is going to go up to Imp, and is going to go for a raid because he wants to keep these Cav Archers away from this castle. And Vinchester trying to quick wall. Maybe he just placed the university because he needed it. I don't know. But I think he's going to have to end up deleting this castle. Vinchester falling apart here. And again, just a tremendous, tremendous game all around. But ACCM, so impressive, man. Man, these guys have mined some stone this game, right? Like, a castle on the hill here for Vinch. That's his only castle he could place, but he still hasn't deleted this foundation. And just like before, camels have looped through, and they're going to be able to get away, possibly. That ballistics upgrade is so needed by Vinchester, man. And what is he going to do against Trebs? He did delete that. And it looks like he also made some gates here, which forced the pathing of the camels into the CA there. So nice job there from Vinch. Still going to be up against Heavy Camel. Oh, Vinch is going double Castle Petard? Yo! Yo! With Rams! Yo! He could take this castle out. It's a Byzantine castle. Oh, can he though? Oh, this is crazy. It might even be worth it to bring in Vills to repair your Rams. Double Castle Petard. I think you need 10 Petards on flat ground to take out a Byzantine castle. Actually, I think it's more than that. Might be like 13. That's so many. I get the thought, and I appreciate the thought, but that was painful. And also, Petards cost food and gold, so that is... Investing into Petards means you're just delaying your imp time further, so it kind of has to work. We're going to see Trebs from both of these castles from ACCM. Trebs that just protect all the map here. He's got gold, he's got stone, he's got wood, he's got food, he's got the tech. Also, Byzantines heal faster. Look how fast this old man is healing. Oh, there's multiple old men, but still. Old physically, not in spirit, right? Age is just a number, monks. Don't worry about it. We've got a big difference between these positions right now. And honestly, like, we see it all the time when you're talking melee units versus range units. The range units need to have a higher number. These villagers maybe need to choose a different wood line to take. Vinchester's got 11 Petards in that castle. Come on. Come on, let's go. 13. 13. The sad thing is there's still another castle. So that's a lot of Petards. Come on, you can do it. ACCM seems to know something's up too. He has Mangonels behind here, expecting it to be another ram push. Petards! Go, 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 go! Yeah! Take that, Byzantines! Okay, you're still super dead if you're Vinchester, but take that! It's a moral victory! The camels are killing everything, and your castles are going to get trebbed down, and there's still another castle, and it's been an incredible game. But that's a first for me, man. That is a first. 13 Petards taking out a Byzantine castle. Now, how expensive is a Petard again? Like 60 food, 30 gold. Multiply that by 13. That's part of your imp cost. But honestly, this game was incredible, guys. Like, I think ACCM has been the most impressive player in Titans League so far. He is the real freaking deal. He also, I think, had a really good draft. I think Byzantines are good against Huns, and that's a whole different conversation. But, guys, he had 2 plays here, and I'm good friends with Viper, is one of my best friends. Obviously, he deserves all his fanboys. I get it. But if some of the plays that he did here were, like, Viper-esque at his peak, you know, where all the fanboys would be like, freaking out right now, I'm freaking out for ACCM. This game was incredible, and Vinchester played super good as well. I thought that the castle initially was going to go up for ACCM, and then he denied it, and then ACCM somehow held on. Dang. But the theme for me with ACCM right now as a player is strategic mastermind. He knows where to go. It was a great job from him to be able to fish here, because initially he was wrong on where the dock was, and then he got over here and disrupted the fish a little bit. Then he got down here and disrupted the fish while still maintaining control of the land. And he just always had so many different things happening. Look at the idle time for Vinchester. 4 hours and 45 minutes of idle time. ACCM had 52 minutes. Just crazy amounts of idle time for Vinchester because he had to react all the time. And you could see they're both really fast, but one player is kind of controlling the game and the other player is reacting. I really hope people enjoyed that game. We had some crazy shorts in that one. We had the crazy move with the palisade wall here earlier, and then we had the gate to somehow trap Vinchester's scout in there. Like that, I'm not sure which is more impressive, actually. And then we also had 13 petards from Vinchester taking out a castle. I mean, I know Vinchester lost, and I know he's down 2-0 right now in the series, but it was still an incredible game from him. So when this hits YouTube later on, I highly suggest YouTube that you watch the third game of this. It is a play all three. It's not the conclusion. And I upload the best individual games to the main channel, so check out the link in the description if you want the full play all three. Sheesh. What a game. We saw a lot of new things in that game. Let's just put it that way. Things I've genuinely never seen before. Here we are, game number 3. Again, every game matters. And as it stands, Vinchester, well, in this series alone, he's lost as many games as he did in the entirety of the group stage in the first season. So that's a pretty crazy statement, right? Vinchester right now has 4 losses, guys. How many wins is that? Remember, he lost 2 to running. And he's got a total of, like, let's say the series were to end now. He's got math. He's got 4 wins. Vinchester gets 3-0'd here. 4 wins after 3 rounds for the champ? That's not so good. And ACCM, man, he's looking super good. He had 5 wins coming into this round. And at the moment, he's at 7 with the potential to get 8, obviously. He's gone for the Italians here. We have the Lithuanians for Vinchester. Really good civilizations. Like, these civilizations are absolute S tier for this map. And I want to see a fast castle from one of them. I really like the fast castle play with the Italians, and I think it's doable. But you don't have to. The way this map works is you have water in the middle, which players focus on early. Yeah, Vinchester looming early is really weird, actually. I don't know why Vinchester got loom. But, yeah, and then you dock, and you control the water, and the sea tower does protect your fish. I think the key for Vinchester will actually be to fish far away from the tower for now. The areas that wouldn't be protected, like out here. It's kind of unfortunate he doesn't have another deep fish. Had he gone over here, it would have been fine. But if he does that now, and then later on, when players will be competing for water, you can save this fish for then to keep your fishing ships safe. ACCMs look like a beast. He's got Italians, so it's cheaper to go up to the next age. Cheaper dock techs, cheaper fishing ships. Pretty good tech tree. The one weakness of the Italians here could just be they don't really have, like, the crazy power spikes. Like, Lithuanians have, I think, more potential if they get to those ridiculous skirms and ridiculous paladins with relics later. But gold's on the side's eventually an issue on this map and an area for players to scout, so the water matters, but it's not everything. I wanted to see, how much vision do you have from the tower? Okay, so you should always be able to select a really good dock spot based on the tower's vision. So, what's funny is, the game doesn't actually show him, or maybe it does show him. I actually can't tell, I'm curious. But he can't see the fish moving. A lot of players will have, like, a box fish mod, so it shows the boxes for that reason, in case the graphic isn't shown. But yeah, I believe, since he sees 2 deep fish, he will fish over here, as awkward as that will be for now. But again, you know, Vinchester, he didn't see another deep fish over here until now, which is why I'd asked, because I feel like he could have easily docked here, taken this deep fish, and then saved this one for later. But with the proper Lithuanian build, you get the dock up so fast. Again, due to the fact they start with so much extra food in the bank, players just chop wood with them much earlier than other civs can do. And, oh yeah, ACCM's definitely going fast castle here, I think. If he's walling right now, I think he will absolutely go for that. MBL tried it. Running tried it. I think Jordan did it once. I think I'm wrong, too. He's getting Loom. I mean, Loom could just be because he's walling with exposed villagers. I don't think he'd have the food to click up. Yeah, so I think he's just getting loom because he's walling with exposed villagers. How similar / different is Shoals to Cup and Golden Swamp gameplay-wise? Well, very different because both the maps you mentioned have amphibious terrain that you can send all your units across. This does have the crossings, but the towers do a good job of protecting those crossings for the early stages. It's all about like getting a fish boom and benefiting from it, but not focusing everything on fish, in my opinion. You have to eventually transition that food eco into either a better age up or more units to control this. But in the end, I think Vinchester's going to end up killing the fishing ships for ACCM. But ACCM's strategy is kind of designed around getting as much food as possible, keeping them alive near the siege tower if you can, and then just trying to get back on water later on in the game. But, you know, one small thing for ACCM is I really think he should be taking this fish. It could actually be the fact he doesn't see it, though, right? Like, let me go into the actual game. See how you can't see that? You see how much different it is? So that is probably the reason. And he's now looking, and then now he's going to see that one. So I think if he knew that was there, he would have been taking that. And then when Vinchester comes in, he would have been over here. But he just didn't see it. Map has provided some really good games so far. And the most exciting part about this map is it's brought in varied strategy. There's been a lot of different strats. And Vinchester, I mean, his strat's really good. He's got a nice feudal age uptime. And he's going to go galleys to try and kill the fish. But look at all the water buffaloes still remaining here for ACCM. I mean, Vinchester's even leaving 150 food there. Like, this is so streamlined to just get fish. It's crazy. I think ACCM would have expected this from Vinch. This is the more predictable approach. Especially now that he's seen Vinchester's up already. Neither scout took any damage from the sea tower. There is a slight chance that ACCM could lose his scout to Vinchester's scout. He just saw Vinchester's scout. And so he's going to loop through the middle. Yo, what a play. This scout's looking for him. He's going to come home through the middle, I think. Oh, that's sneaky, man. All right, so the play should now be Blacksmith Market. Again, I've seen this build a couple times. I'm a big fan of it. And then you expect to lose your fish. But what ends up happening on this map is the player who's not going, or the player who's going to win water, is they add more fishing ships. So they'll sometimes go all the way up to like 10 fishing ships because they figure why not? He's not contesting water. But because Italians have the cheaper age up and because of the cheaper dock text, they just come back on water and kill all those extra fish. Vinchester already has 6 fishing ships though, so it is possible he might not add a lot more. There's a fire galley, though, and there's the sea tower. Risky move for Vinchester, but he wants the fish so badly. He's lost a galley. He could lose another galley, actually. I think all things considered, ACCM won't hate his position that much. And still desperately trying to kill a weak galley there and decides to back away. There's the second dock. Yo, man. This is gonna be really good, man. This is so good. I'm such a big ACCM fan. Like, he's playing this map, at least this particular build, I think, to perfection. And then where's he gonna build the second TC, guys? Any guesses? Zoom. Right over there. Faster to castle age for the second TC. Still able to compete on water and not just giving it up. Whereas Vinchester's kind of stuck in feudal age for the time being. He did get I can't speak. Did get housed, I noticed. ACCM kills the weak one. We'll see if he micros back here. And of course he micros back to his sea tower. Really clinical stuff for ACCM. Sea tower's strong too, which is why I think more and more people should be trying to go. Nice job finally by Vinch to get the final fish. I think more and more people should be trying to go fast castle. Italians makes a lot of sense because it's cheaper to go up to the next age in the dock text. Mongols because of the hunt bonus. Lithuanians even because of the starting food. These villagers now, they do need to fight the crocodiles off. That is a feature of this map. Here's the positive, though, for Vinchester, okay? I'm going to check now and see resources collected. It's going to look really good. So the positive for him is that he didn't go crazy YOLO and add more fish. So he's had the 6 fishing ships. The negative is I think he's just going to lose all of it. Like, I genuinely think he will lose all of it. But at least he gained a lot from it. And, you know, he is still in a position to scout the map and see exactly what his opponent's doing. And he hasn't confirmed it yet, but he might have an idea and could maybe pressure that later on. But upgraded fire ships, I know there is a sea tower, but they are just so deadly against feudal age galleys. And ACCM might even pull back the weak fires here too. That looks intentional. It's a runner here to dodge the arrows. Another runner. So good. I'm probably sounding like the biggest ACCM fanboy ever, but how can you not appreciate how good he's playing right now? Sea Tower is super strong, though. Sea Tower's much more effective than maybe even ACCM was expecting here. And Vinchester might hold on to some water control. Normally, what players do, though, is they just snipe the fishing ships. They don't actually care that much about the Navy. So I'm a little surprised by that, as we do have 2 TCs for ACCM. Worth reminding you guys. So he's at 31 villagers. It's only 28 villagers for Vinch. Vinch's scout is here. Just killed ACCM scout. That's important. And it feels like the natural move for Vinchester would be to actually go to the right side. So this could be an epic battle in the long term. Now we have the War Galley upgrade for Vinch. Would love to see a demo or two. So he's going to upgrade his ships. No Bod Canero coming in for him. So these galleys won't be that effective. It's more to have his own fires. But we've got demos. And uh-oh. Can you take care of these demos here, Vinch? That one didn't land. It does land in the end. This demo comes in. That one does not land either. These villagers have to be careful. It just seems like the upgrade just came in very late here for Vinchester. Not the timing he would have maybe wanted. But, I mean, he's got 3 fishing ships, 4 fishing ships. That's still okay. And he drops the second town center as well. He drops it on the stone, too. That could be intentional. We have to pay attention on how much stone he mines. Because you'll notice ACCM is also mining stone right now. ACCM will be even extremely hesitant to add monks here, guys. It's a big talking point. Just one scout being out there. Doesn't matter how much HP that scout has. Monks aren't going to want to get relics. And that's something you want to do against the Lithuanians. But there's the 3rd TC for ACCM. Again, I think it's intentional to build that right there on that stone. Also, an outpost could be useful here for ACCM. Clearly thinking about that. Just to know if there's any siege pressure coming in. I think it's very likely that Vinchester's going to get a lot of relics. But do you really want to be going cavalry long-term against the Italians that have the Genoese crossbowmen? I actually think it's okay. Like, if you go all in, if you go knight, treb, it's really tough for Italians on this map because people will castle the sides where the gold is and go fast imp pressure. But they don't have time if they have to go for their own trebs to really mass the Genoese crossbow. Like, this isn't a map where unique units thrive all that much. So I think the knights could really dominate. And also Italians do not get halberdiers, so they don't have like a really strong, exciting counter. Excuse me. Yeah, they really don't have a strong, exciting counter otherwise. And the unit also produces pretty slow. And, you know, ACCM, he might have that villager lead, and that's something. But no Castle Age wood upgrade, no horse collar. Vinchester's got the wood upgrade. He's got horse collar, 3rd TC coming. And also could convert this villager. That should be a delete. Yep, she does not want to switch sides. But that's going to be relics now for Vinch. Will be some relics on this side for ACCM as well. ACCM still not giving up on water because the sea tower can go down and... Oh my goodness, that was huge. The sea tower can eventually go down in these numbers. And if that goes down, then your docks could go down and everything else can go down. And I don't think Vinch expected that. Right when Vinchester feels like he's got it on water, that something like that happens. But he's snagging relic number 2. And it's very likely he will get relic number 3. I think Vinchester's position's very strong for the Lithuanians. The food eco should be flying. The main thing for him is, can he get access to gold? I believe the next move should be for him to town center a gold, and here he comes. But he hasn't scouted this area, so he's just kind of hoping his opponent isn't over there. And I don't know if I'd want to place a TC if I saw all these houses and outposts, but it might be too late to consider going to the right side. Remember, he's still got some gold, plus he's got the relic gold income. But if I saw this, I'd be like, I don't know. But he does it anyways. So yeah, I mean, you need to bring some army over here. But ACCM already has monks too. I mean, it's just not a great feeling for Vinchester. Do we see atonement possibly from Vinch? If he sees enemy monks, he doesn't really have a scout over here. These villagers are just going to switch sides. All right, that's something. And that guy just goes right back to building the TC. It's not bad. It's like when you leave your job and then realize, maybe the grass wasn't greener on the other side. And you go back. Says the streamer. We're going to see some big booms here, I think. Let's see where the demo's positioned. If it's in front, it gets sniped by the tower. If it comes in afterwards, it normally is going to have a good connect. We do got demos back here from Vinch too, though. And it's ACCM not paying attention this time. It's some big booms. Actually, Vinchester even being patient and not using it there. But there is a castle there. And Vinchester, you need the other side now. He is over here, but ACCM can see it. Yeah, buddy, I would leave. And also, there is atonement for ACCM, so... Does he have monks over here at all? Adam, the games have been incredible. Like, the games in this series have been top-notch. This series has been just unbelievable in terms of the level ACCM has brought, but Vinchester played so good, too. I don't want to take anything away from him. He just hasn't been able to get the wins. Monks even getting fervor for the speed. I like monk techs. Monk techs underrated. I like it. Now, this castle going up is something ACCM sees. Oh, no, he doesn't. I wonder if that was intentional from Vinch to build it far away from the outpost. I bet you it was. That's interesting. Uh-oh. These old men need to just end it. You're not as fast as the other old men, and your god is not as strong. Don't do this to yourselves, all right? Don't contribute to the other religion. Just leave. Okay, no, they're running. They're going to have friends. The scouts are coming out from Vinchester to counter this. And the Navy, actually. Speaking of Navy, ACCM, again, protecting his sea tower. One demo is going to come in. That's a boom, and clears it up. Okay, villagers get converted. Genoese crossbowmen are dying to villagers. What is happening? Awkward. But monks will die for ACCM. But then again, there's like 10 villagers running around right now for Vinchester. And I don't know if the scouts will be all that effective in the long term if there's Genoese out here. Again, hugely important that ACCM does not know there's a castle here. Oh, he found it with something. Something died here. That villager's sacrifice was perfect because now he could drop a castle here. And if he actually gets that up, if he has the protection to get that up, guys, it could be amazing with a faster Imperial Age. Again, amazing strategically because on this map, that gold matters so much. And ACCM maybe needs to back away here right now. He sees a panic castle from Vinch. He's just going to run through. And he might lose the majority of that force, if you could call it that. And wow, ACCM brought a monk, so he could convert a Latus if there's a panic Latus here from Vinchester. Vinchester now sees it, and Vinchester's trying to stop it with the conversions, guys. He's like, Wololo, just kidding. You. It's like duck, duck, goose, castle building style. But it is still slowly going up, and he needs army here now. If this castle goes up, ACCM can win this game. And now ACCM needs to convert the Latus. You're kidding me, dude. This guy's incredible. Got that one. Can actually convert again. But it doesn't matter because this is going to end up going up. And now what do you do against Trebs if you're Vinch? Also, this is still active. He still was converting stuff. He's making a barracks in the back of Vinchester's base. He's got the gold on the left side. He's gonna have the gold trebs on the right side. And Vinchester is just trying to compete. And look, he patrols in over here. Monk doesn't get a conversion that time. And ACCM's annoying barracks will not happen, it seems. Well, it might happen. I'm just trying to keep Vinchester in his base and away from the sides right now. We only have fletching as far as blacksmith upgrades go for ACCM, and he only has 2 castles. He really needs to make sure that he keeps an eye on the stone count and always has stone income. But again, I've just been so impressed with ACCM. He knows the map, guys. Like, the strategy on giving up the water and taking the side early was so well executed. He has made this game look so easy, and Vinchester's playing insane Age of Empires 2 right now. Missing maybe ballistics, masonry. Those are all important techs to get. There's the university, so he's thinking about that. His economy is superior. And Vinch is imping. However, he will be later to the trebs on this side, and he has no way of contesting the other side. First treb is coming out now. And I think for Vinchester, you now have a question of what unit do you go for. So Vinchester's fallback here, he's got the eco for it, would probably be skirms. And skirms and bombard cannons. Now, the issue you can have at times, I don't know if it's necessarily seen as an issue, but sometimes you're so heavy on golden wood that you're just stuck on archer bombard cannon, and then a lot of skirmishers can counter you. So you just do need to be careful if you're ACCM that your food eco doesn't stay as low as that. But this is in like an ideal scenario, and I'm sure he's going to be seeding farms. Like that's probably not going to be much of an issue for him. Look at his vision, man. Also getting fast fire ship on the water, so he will probably take out the docks and the sea tower now, and maybe could even go cannon galleons from the water. ACCM is just an incredible player, and he's going to have an incredible position here as Vinchester, I think, desperate, just kind of committing more towards Latus. He does get extra attack for every relic that he has on his cavalry unit. So, you know, that I could see why you'd want to try. He also has a safe castle here. Also, this is happening. Okay, condos in the back, tower in the back. This is a nice little... This is the first time, actually, that Vinchester's been able to get a raid in. There he goes. Genoese crossbowmen are slow and have to run home. Nice job, Vinch. Vinch runs in to take the trebs. Does he have a chance? Doesn't take them all. Is getting conscription for this castle. If he can complete that, that means his units will still produce a bit faster. That's a nice upgrade to get. The town center fire helping, but not enough just yet. So the raid's adding up here. The raid's kind of sort of doing something over here as well, but still on the right side, it's ACCM with all the control. And the castles will continue to fall here for Vinch, I think. And Latus. Nope. Not doing much more. Safe stone walls at home. And the GG's called. The GG's called. ACCM with a masterpiece of a game, man. Like, I think if there is going to be a meta, and I said to Dave last week, I think by the time we get to like week 4, week 5, ACCM's clearly already thinking ahead that Fast Castle will be more common. But he clearly understands this map. The fish is important. The fish is so important and so valuable, but it's not everything. And so to give up the water, lose a couple fishing ships, and then fight right back on water to play into the second TC on the gold, to keep good vision on it, all these things, just looking so good for ACCM. He played an informed Vinchester today, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, Vinchester looks really, really good. And I think, you know, you can question maybe a couple of the Civ picks for Vinch. Like, I personally would have preferred to see him use Lithuanians on Cross. And then maybe use, like, Japanese here or something. But, I mean, even still, Lithuanians, it's like his very first pick. Lithuanians are just so good. And he played pretty good with them, but just couldn't get the result. It wasn't like there was a difference in the resources brought in, really. It was just difference in position and timings. It was like, you know, kind of like a chess match where you both kind of have the same tools at your disposal, but one person goes this way and baits you into going the other way. And I'm no chess expert, so I'll probably stop that analogy. But, you know, when you see the resources and the KD, this game shows you the beauty of like strategy within Age of Empires 2. Like obviously there's execution, which is so important, and there's micro and skill and speed. But when all those things are relatively even though apparently Vinchester's faster here, you have just the execution. Look at the stats, guys. 58 to 59, 20 to 19. Resources, less than 1,000 between them, but still ACCM able to get the better positions. So yeah, in Titans League, this means that ACCM now, he's won 2-1 against Dowd, he won 3-0 against Valis, and then he won 3-0 against Vinchester. So he's loving life. He's got 8 wins out of a possible 9, and he will have 2 more rounds to play. One of those rounds will be up against Running, and the other player, who am I missing from that group? Oh, Nikov. Nikov is the other player who will play. We haven't seen any Nikov yet in Titans League. Titans League will see Nikov this week because he was moving. But yeah, I think it's a masterpiece. Someone says, was there really no way back for Vinchester? Without gold, I don't think he's got a way back, right? Like, the way back for Vinchester here would be to go skirmishers. But he's going to need some time to get those upgrades. So we could try, ballistics, Bodcanero, bracer, and all the armor. But by the time he gets that tech switch in, he's getting Treb pushed on the left side. He will have lost all this on the right side. And, like ACCM at that point would be able to mix in things to kill the skirmishers too. So yeah, I think it was the correct time to call it GG. But I hope people appreciate how freaking amazing that game was from ACCM. That is also like the beauty of this map. We got to see Feudal Age play versus a fast castle play. We got to see some monks. We got to see some cavalry. We saw some ranged units. We saw water at this time, TCs in this position, all different types of strats. One of the best performances I've ever seen from ACCM, honestly, in my entire life. So, yeah, exciting things. Exciting things. Obviously, Vinchester as well in Titans League now. So he's got 4 wins after 3 rounds. And he has to play Nikov. And he has to play Valis. And Nikov could be coming in like a monster too. Like, oh man, I mean, didn't expect to see Vinchester so low in the group. That's all I'm saying. Wait, and Vinchester's, did I say he's got to play Delt? Doesn't he have to play Delt? I forget what I said. Anyways, GG.